Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What's going on, people? What is going on? Thank you for joining and coming back to the Big B Daily Show, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time. We are live on TikTok. What is going on, TikTok? How are you guys doing, man? And we are live on YouTube. What is going on, YouTube? As always, man, please, if you are on TikTok and you're not following, go ahead and click that follow button. If you're in here, please do. We appreciate it. Any gifts that you send over, man, just help support the show. We absolutely love it, and we thank you. Same thing goes for YouTube. YouTube, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And remember, Super Chats are wide open. Anything that you want to support the show with, we absolutely appreciate, man. So Monday through Friday, Big B Daily, live on TikTok and YouTube. Let's get the party going. So first thing is, man, let's talk about Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant made a big statement last night. I think Ja Morant came out and made a statement to say, I'm here, I'm back, and I'm ready to play some basketball. I'm ready to play basketball. The only thing that I didn't like, it seemed like Ja was trying to blame people for what they said about him. And Ja has he brought that all on himself. Nobody would be talking about him or saying those types of things about him had he not done what he had done. But as far as basketball, that's what we want to see, brother. We just want to see that. We want to see you out there dominating on the basketball court, having fun, smiling, laughing, having a good time. That's what we want. That is all that we want to see. And nobody's saying, oh, well, he can't do anything. He can't talk, or nobody's saying that. We want to see Ja have fun. Go dominate on the basketball court. You want to talk about something? Okay, talk about something. But we don't need to see the fake gangster, wannabe tough guy, Ja Morant, that we all know that you're not. And was it a real gun? Was it a toy gun? And you're on Instagram Live. We don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody cares about that. All we want to see is Ja dominating on the basketball court, having a good time, man. So that's what we want to see. On the basketball court, staying out of trouble. Staying out of trouble. And the one thing about it is nobody can doubt Ja on that basketball court. You can't. The man is an absolute superstar. An absolute superstar. Here's the difference. Ja did what he did last night. You know who else played in that game that nobody really even talked about? Zion Williamson. Zion actually played in that game last night. Does anybody even care, number one? But did anybody even notice that Zion was out there? Oh, my God. It is absolutely incredible how the mighty have fallen on Zion Williamson. Oh, my goodness. I'm sad. I'm sad for him because it didn't have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. But all power to Ja. Hope maybe somebody got to call Zion and just say, hey, bro, what are you doing? Do you want to play? I know, but Zion's problem, he doesn't want to be in New Orleans. He wants to be somewhere else. He's not going to be able to eat his way out of New Orleans. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So he doesn't have the cachet to be able to do that. So, man, it's crazy. It is crazy. But we'll see. We will see. Hopefully he can get it together. But Ja, I love that performance Ja put on last night. I loved it. Like I said, the only thing I didn't like about Ja is him talking about I kept receipts. Well, what receipts are you keeping, Ja? Nobody talked about you on the basketball court. The only thing anybody ever said about you was that foolishness and buffoonery that you did off the court, which whatever anybody had to say about it, they were right, and you earned all of it. So I don't know what receipt you're keeping, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's move on. Let's move on, people. Aaron Rodgers is not playing. I mean, this is why people don't like Aaron Rodgers. This is why people don't like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, why does everything have to be drawn out? Some drama-filled whatever. Everybody knew this man wasn't going to play football again this year. But yet, here we are. Here we are. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. The man is filled with drama. Old man just needs to hang him up. I mean, I don't disagree. I'll take that back. I don't think Aaron Rodgers needs to retire. Anybody that wants to keep playing football, you play as long as you want to play football. We just don't need the drama. We just don't need the drama that comes with it. That's all. It's always something. Yes, it's like a movie every time. Thank you. And you're right. If they had a shot at making the playoffs, he'd have come back and acted like he was the hero and saved the day and just, oh my goodness. I just get tired. Look, you can't take away what Aaron Rodgers has accomplished on the football field. You can't. All-time great quarterback. You can't take it away. But all of the drama that comes with it, and he thinks he's the smartest guy that ever walked the face of the earth, and just like, oh my goodness. Whew. It's always something. We'll see. We will see. But it's crazy that all this crazy drama. Yes. Yvonne Espinoza, thanks for coming back to the show. She's over on YouTube. Her statement is Aaron Rodgers, the master of gaslighting people. Could not agree more. He is the master of the gaslight. Jiminy Christmas. My man Golf Hawk says Aaron Drama Rodgers. Yes. Yes. So, I don't know. And you're right, my man Wilder said it must be a Green Bay thing. Yeah, I agree. Must be a Green Bay thing. Because Brett Favre was the exact same way. Although Brett Favre didn't think he was the smartest guy in the room. He just thought he was the best quarterback that ever walked the face of the earth. And he is not. He is not. I mean, I'll be honest. Is Brett Favre even in your top 10? He's not in mine. I mean, Brett Favre ain't in my top 10 as all-time quarterbacks. He's not in mine. So, oh well. Oh well. And you're right, Jacob. On TikTok, nothing has been Aaron Rodgers' fault. Nothing has been his fault. Ever. Ever. So yeah. Top 10? Who's my top 10? It gets dicey towards the end, but Montana, Brady, Manning, Elway, Marino, Moon, Steve Young, Fouts. I don't even know how many that is. I wasn't counting. But, I would have those guys in there. Breeze for sure. I forgot Breeze. Breeze for sure. Those guys, all before I would have Favre. All before Favre. I don't know if I would have Big Ben before Favre, but they're probably close. So if it's 9 with Brien, no, not Steve McNair. No. No, no, no. I mean, and you got to give some credence to some guys that played before, like a Johnny Unitas or a Sammy Ball, some of those guys, Fran Tarkenton. I wouldn't have Rivers top 10, but not far off. But I know, Staubach, but there's somebody that, Eli Manning's not going to be in my top 10 either. So, but Aaron Rodgers is. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. We can come back to that because I'm interested in having, when we get to our Q&A, our man Hot Soup will be here talking a little bit of fantasy football today. Not a ton, just because everybody's still not in it. So we'll have him on here in a little bit. But let's get to National Signing Day. Did y'all even know that today was National Signing Day today? I mean, I totally forgot. Y'all remember, let's say 5 years ago, that National Signing Day was a huge deal. A huge deal. Our favorite college team, we wanted to see if we could flip a guy, what our team ended up with as far as the final ranking, all of that stuff. It was a big, big deal, National Signing Day. But it is not the big deal anymore. I made a post about it on YouTube and in TikTok. Y'all check that out. The transfer portal. The transfer portal. People are more intrigued with the transfer portal than they are National Signing Day now. And it's not, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's different. But I don't think it's a bad thing. Because I like the transfer portal. I love it. I don't like it. I love it. So we'll see. And the transfer portal is a great thing. Change can be good. Excuse me, it's not always good. You know how some people say change is good? Well, all change isn't good. But this one is good. And as soon as they fix that ruling that doesn't allow for kids to just transfer as many times as they want, some stupid judge opened it up for 14 days. The NCAA actually got this one right. That says that you can't transfer. If you transfer once, you can't transfer again without being a graduate student unless you sit out a year. That's the way it should be. You get one free one. The next time you do it, you either got to sit out a year or you have to be a grad transfer. So they got it right. Joe, my man, says you're right. National Signing Day is not the same, but I also think that the player star ratings are so inaccurate because 3 stars can be molded into 5 stars. So the ratings are overrated. Not only, Joe, are you 1,000% correct about the ratings, these 5-star ratings, how many are we seeing of these 5-star guys don't play right away and then just don't pan out or transfer? It's like some of these ratings, it's like I get how you come up with some of them, but let's just talk about Arch Manning. Now, Arch Manning was the number 1 player last year based on what? He didn't play against top competition in high school in Louisiana. And we know Louisiana plays some damn good football, high school football. Well, he played in one of the lower divisions, so he didn't face good competition. He didn't go to any of these all 11 camps or any of these camps or anything like that. So tell me again how you know this kid is the best player in the country if he never played against good competition. And I'm not even saying that he isn't the best. I'm saying, how would you know? And people on TikTok are all over it. It's his name. Exactly right. It's crazy. And a lot of these 5-star guys they get it's so inaccurate. But I know they got to do that. I get that. And some 5 stars do pan out. But 3 stars, for instance, there are more 3 stars in the NFL than there are 5. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Just like on every NFL roster, there are more third and fourth round picks on NFL rosters than there are first round. It's the way it works, bro. So that is the way that it works. I remember when ESPNU used to dedicate an entire day for National Signing Day, but not anymore. Exactly. That's all they did all day on National Signing Day. And it was fun. It was fun. But not now. Not now. So, and it's crazy that there's no development going on anymore, or kids aren't willing to be developed. I think that's insane. You know, you have these 5-star quarterbacks who didn't start right away, or maybe played a little bit, or transferring immediately after 1 year. I think that's funny. So, I think that's funny. And it's like they can't sit behind anybody. Well, if that's the case, and you wanted to play immediately, then why didn't you just go to a school where the starter's not coming back? Or go to a lower tier school where you can be guaranteed to be the starter? You know, like Malachi Nelson goes to USC, he sits for a year, and then he transfers. Well, here's the thing. USC went out in the transfer portal and got Will Howard. Maybe USC said, this 5-star guy, he ain't as good as we think that he is. He needs some more development. We're trying to win now, and he ain't going to help us win now. Anybody think about that? But Nelson is, no, I'm better than this. I need to leave. I need to play now. Then he goes to Oregon. He ain't going to play there either because it's Dylan Gabriel. It's like, who are helping these kids make these decisions? Oh, my God. Uncle JoJo needs to shut up and stay in his lane because he has no idea what he's talking about. So, have I seen the recruits Missouri is getting? Yeah. Missouri's trying to put together a program. They went from almost firing their coach to having a really good year, but Missouri's always recruited well. This ain't new. Missouri's always recruited well. They just couldn't put it together on the field. I mean, Missouri's always recruited well, and they should. It's the only Power 5 school. It's the only Division I school in Missouri, and it's in between Kansas City and St. Louis, and they play decent football in both those cities. So, yeah, they should be pretty good. They should recruit well. Sometimes they just don't. Sometimes they just don't. So, yeah, that's a good point, Hooligan. That is a really good point. Could also be there's more coverage around recruiting throughout the year with social media that there's really the only questions are the flips. That could be it. That could be it. So that could very well could be it. It's going on around year round. I think it has more to do with the transfer portal. To be honest, I think it has more to do with the transfer portal. So, but we'll see. And you're right, Golf Hawk. Uncle JoJo just wants a new pickup truck. That's what he wants. Go somewhere where they're giving you a ton of money. And I don't begrudge people for going to where the money is. I don't begrudge anybody for getting any money. If somebody wants to pay you $1 more and you think it's a better situation for you, by all means, go. But just be careful because it may not be. I mean, a lot of people start talking about how they feel sorry for kids and they're going to get this money, but they're not being developed. I'm like, you remember when kids were going straight to high school or straight to the pros from high school playing basketball and a bunch of kids didn't make it? I mean, nobody felt sorry for them. So it's a cruel world, man. And sometimes the consequences are tough. Sometimes the consequences are tough. So we'll see. And that is a good point. Again, Hooligan, a group of five programs going to become developmental schools for big programs now? Probably. But you know what? I don't see why it's any different. I mean, people weren't going to those group of 5 schools before, and they were getting lesser tiered talent, and now more talented guys are going. So it is what it is. It's just changing. It's just changing. So, well, let's move on, man. We got our guy, Hot Soup, coming in today. We're going to bring him in, talk a little bit of fantasy football. If any of y'all are still in your leagues, we got our man coming in. So hopefully y'all are still in your league. Hot Soup, what's going on, man? We can't hear you. Hold on. Hello? Nope, we can't hear you. We cannot hear you. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Man, y'all survived. I did not survive. I did not survive. So I got beat. We can hear you now, brother.
Had to replug the cord in or something. So what's going on,
Gotcha.
brother?
Not much, not much. So, fantasy football this week. Most people around the country are out. They're out. They lost. But there is still some good fantasy football out there to be played. In one league that I qualified for, I got caught up in a Tyreek Hill situation and lost by 4 points. I had
Mm, mm,
Addison,
mm,
Cortland Sutton, George Pickens, and CeeDee
mm,
Lamb as my receivers with Tyreek Hill.
mm.
And I held on and thought, well, maybe they'll play Tyreek. And I held out Addison and got beat by 4 points. And Addison destroyed it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So
Look, man,
anyway,
it's all learning situation, my brother.
it
Next
is.
next year, you got to learn from your mistakes. That's how you get better at this fantasy game. Look, I've been doing this so long that I see so many situations that I see in the past, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I messed up last time thinking this way. I should think this way this time and end up coming out on top, man. I don't know. The fantasy gods have blessed me this year. I'm trying to stay humble, man. You know, I don't like talking a lot of smack because I've done it in the past and I lose all the leagues. So, you know, I ended up going to the playoffs in 13 out of 23. Right now, I'm still in the playoffs in 11 out of 23 leagues right now, man. And it's just been a blessing, bro. I got a championship going this week with a bunch of college guys I went to college with, played football
Okay.
and ran track with, man.
I got you. I got you. Well, that's a good sign. This coming up week. So we do have one question. I'm going to bring it up here real quick
Let's do it.
from Golf Hawk. Sam Howell or Jordan Nelson and Rashid Rice or Justin Jefferson? Rice's floor is higher, or Rice's floor is higher. Ceiling is through the roof. What do you say, Soup?
Sam Howell or Jordan? I'm confused.
I am too with the question. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Rasheed Rice or Justin Jefferson. Um, I got to go Justin Jefferson, man. I got to go Justin Jefferson, and the only reason I'm saying is because Rasheed Rice been doing his thing,
Yes, he
but
has.
it's Justin Jefferson, and he's back. And honestly, Mullins has been getting it done. I see him having a higher target share than Rasheed Rice. Patrick Mahomes likes to spread the ball around. It don't really matter who he throwing to, man. I know that Rasheed Rice is starting to become his guy, but I'm not benching Justin Jefferson. I
No.
drafted him as number 1 pick, maybe, you know? So
Yeah.
you just can't do that. It's the championship, man. Go with the guys like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. And Mullins is force feeding him the football. I know Addison had a good day, but it was on about it wasn't even 6 catches. I think it was 5 catches. They are forcing that ball to Justin Jefferson, man.
That's
So
what I'm
I would
saying.
put him in.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
So
saying.
we got a question over here on TikTok. Joshua Palmer or Gus Edwards in the flex?
Is it a PPR?
It doesn't say.
if
If
it's a
it's
standard
PPR,
league,
I think you got to go Palmer.
Gus Edwards. If it's a PPR, you got to go Palmer right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if Keenan Allen comes back, man, Palmer getting that work.
Exactly.
He deserves it, right? And you
Yes.
know what I was thinking? I was thinking that backup quarterback been used to throwing to Palmer.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? And them
Yeah,
second team
absolutely.
reps at practice, you know, you gotta
Absolutely.
think about that, man. He done built continuity with him already, and it showed.
Another question on TikTok: Addison or Rice? That's a good one.
I gotta go Rice. I
That's
gotta
a
go
good
Rice.
one.
Addison had a big game, right? But is he
Yes.
getting force fed? I think he had like 6 targets, 6 receptions. So he
Right.
caught everything. But if he doesn't have a couple big gains, he's nothing. Justin Jefferson is the highest floor, and that's
Correct.
in my opinion. Now, if I'm comparing Rashee Rice, now Rashee Rice has more game breaking ability, in my opinion, with more upside
Right.
than Addison. Now, Addison is nice. Don't get me wrong, but I like Rashee Rice in that instance. I'm going with a wide
Gotcha.
receiver 1 before I'm going with a wide receiver 2.
Gotcha. Question: Sam Howell or Jordan Love?
Definitely Jordan Love. Sam Howell just got benched.
Yes, he
You
did.
if you didn't learn from I learned from Sam Howell. I lost 2 leagues, both of them I started Sam Howell in last week. Lost them both because
Yeah.
of Sam Howell.
Sam Howell's fallen completely off.
You know, what if they decide to do it again? What if those 2 picks and they're like, you know what, let's bench him.
Yeah.
Right? I'm taking Jordan Love. Come on now. Jordan can
Yes.
run in. He can run you one. He can get you 2 through the air. Got some healthy receivers. If Christian Watson come back, that's definitely no-brainer.
Gotcha. Here's a good one on TikTok: Godwin or McBride? Before you say anything,
McBride.
I was
That
just
don't
going to
even-
say, I think Godwin is fool's gold, man. I think it's fool's gold.
You heard what came out McBride all day long.
Yeah.
14. That's Mr. 14 targets.
Yes.
Since Kyler Murray has been back, McBride has been the man in Arizona. I don't know what you've been watching. I've been watching the games. McBride is the man.
Absolutely.
He's top 3 tight end right now.
Absolutely.
Overall, right now.
Brock or Baker? Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
Y'all ready for this?
buddy.
They're gonna hate me. Y'all gonna hate me. Look, I got Purdy. Going, but he's going against. He has the toughest defense that he's been up
Toughest
against
in the league
all year long. Now, to me, Brock Purdy is he's exactly what a fantasy manager wants in a season, if that makes sense. A guy that you never even drafted and got off the waiver wire and takes you all the way, right? But Baker Mayfield right now is hot.
He's hot.
He's my top dude. I have him as my number 1 in my picks right now for quarterbacks this week. Number 1. Baker's going against Washington, ranked 31st against the quarterback, coming off a 4-touchdown game. He's throwing the ball to that running back more than ever, and Mike Evans is having a career year.
Yes.
Mike Evans got a touchdown, and he's getting red zone targets. Godwin, but you don't need. I mean, Godwin's going to get his work, right? But we're not talking about end zone.
I think
guys.
Godwin was fool's gold
Evans.
last week.
We're talking about Mike Evans and Rashad White getting in that end zone. Both of them twice this week. That's what I'm talking about.
Here's one: Steve Richards over on YouTube. Rice or DJ Moore?
Look, why you got it?
It's the playoffs, man.
DJ Moore.
Is the playoffs.
DJ Moore's getting more targets, bro. DJ Moore's getting more targets. He's a better receiver to me. I'm a Bear fan, but even if I wasn't a Bear fan, I'm going DJ Moore on this week.
God, because he's still the number 1 guy. Where Rice is playing well, but he's still not it's still Travis Kelce.
Listen. Justin Fields throws it to DJ Moore. He makes sure DJ Moore get his 12 targets. Rashee Rice not getting that.
Yes, he does. Here's a question that nobody asked, but I'm going to ask it. Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, y'all ready for this? I got that situation in one of my leagues right now. I got Jackson sitting. I've been having Jackson sitting, right? Look, I know, and I heard you earlier on your show, B, you was talking about how Jackson could be, he can go to the forefront if they beat San Francisco. He beats Purdy, right? He goes to the forefront of the MVP race, right?
Yeah.
No. Hot Soup, this is a Hot Soup's prediction, right? In my opinion, if I look at it, Baltimore's defense has done way more for Lamar Jackson this season than Lamar Jackson has done for Baltimore. Brock
That's
Purdy
fair.
has done way more for San Francisco's offense than that defense has done for San Francisco.
Well, let me just throw this into monkey wrench in there. And you're right.
I
But
know I'm right.
if Brock Purdy had to be playing with his number 3 running back, would we still be saying the same thing?
No.
Because Lamar Jackson is playing with his 3rd running back. Matter of fact, the guy just got hurt. So they're basically on running back 4 with Lamar Jackson. Would we be saying the same thing?
I think if Lamar had all his weapons, he'd be way better this year.
That's what I'm
Way
saying.
better.
If Kittle was out.
But hold on. So you're saying that Lamar is more important to that team than Brock Purdy?
1,000%.
So
1,000,000%.
Brock Purdy goes out, man, and somebody else comes in and they can't even get the ball down the field.
How do we know that?
We don't.
Thank you.
They got weapons. They do.
There you go.
Let's think about this,
Lamar is the weapon in Baltimore.
The New York Jets have weapons.
And they have nobody to get them the ball.
You see my point. I just made my point.
The weapons, and the difference is the weapons in San Francisco also comes with an offensive line. The weapons in New York doesn't come with an offensive line. That's the difference.
I hear a lot of people, man, saying how, the offense is, Brock Purdy's doing this, he's doing that, but it's only because of his players around him.
I mean,
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I watch football.
I watch football every Sunday, man. If I don't, I go back and watch the games. I gotta know who I'm feeling next week. Who got hurt? You know what I'm saying? What lines are faulty? Who has the running back going against the line that's the weakest? They got 2 people hurt. They was good last week, but this week they're gonna be terrible. They got 2 backups in. Like I get down to the nitty gritty, man, and then I start my lineups.
Soup. When Trent Green and Debo was out, how good was Brock Purdy?
Serviceable still.
Was he?
Yeah.
In fantasy football, he was serviceable.
And that's what I'm saying. This is
okay.
What are we talking here, B?
So he was serviceable.
We're talking fantasy. Hey, this is not the Big B show. This fantasy, this hot soup fantasy. We talking
Lamar
about fantasy
Jackson
only. I'm not talking about in real life.
Well, Lamar Jackson would still be doing the same things regardless.
Lamar Jackson would be doing big things if he had his tight end. We already know that. Andrews would be putting up 2 touchdowns a game. He's proven it year in and year out, right? Yes. Odell Beckham's coming along. The rookie's a beast. So I mean, I like it. I like Lamar, bro. I'm just not going with
going with him over Purdy.
Over Purdy. Now, this week, I might have to, man. I don't. But then that San Francisco defense tough too, and Lamar has less weapons. Purdy got the weapon. I'm going Purdy, man. I'm bitching Lamar. I'm bitching him.
I understand. So, what do we got? Let's talk about wide receivers this week because Tyreek Hill coming off injury, CeeDee Lamb on the road. Does CeeDee Lamb bounce back with Dak? Does Tyreek bounce back after being out of game against a Dallas defense that I think is going to need to be hungry, but apparently can't stop the run on the road? Do we play both? I mean, I'm guessing both of those guys got to be in your starting lineup.
They didn't need Tyreek last week.
They didn't
need him. He could have played. They didn't need him.
He's but Waddle basically stepped into that role.
Heal up for the rest of the season, man. We plan on making this playoff run. They don't need him. He knew that. Come on, man. Tyreek. If you got Tyreek, start him.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what happened to me last week, and I lost.
Do not bench Tyreek ever. He's done that. He's done that for fantasy football this year. Bench him. Or don't bench. Never bench him. Never.
Yeah, you can't bench Tyreek.
Never.
You can't bench Tyreek.
Never.
Who's the top start and sit this week, man?
Mike Evans, bro. Mike Evans, man. I know they be hating on Mike Evans, like, oh no, he's not a Hall of Famer. Y'all out y'all mind.
10 straight years of 1,000
yards.
that
only a couple receivers has done in NFL history.
Yeah,
and he got him a Super Bowl ring. Stop playing. I don't even really like the Bucs like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I love what Mike Evans doing for football, for receivers right now, for all them haters out there hating on him. Man, keep doing your thing, Big Mike, baby.
Mike Evans is the equivalent to Curtis Martin in the running back position. Consistently get you 1,300 yards over a 10-year time period. There's no way you could have kept out Kurt, because when you look up at the end of the day, Curtis Martin stopped running. He was the 4th leading rusher in the National Football League. That guy doesn't get in the Hall of Fame? Of course he does.
I
turn
like
around
the
and Mike Evans
comparison.
is going to be in the Hall of Fame. There ain't no question.
I love the comparison, bro. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, not flashy, never the best at their position when they played, but consistent. Consistency has to matter, especially when you're talking about fantasy football. That's why you have a guy like that on your team and you put him in every week.
Go look at that touchdown streak. These last 10 games. Just look at his last 10 games. Like, he's putting up he's going to get you 17 points, man. He might get you 25. Listen, it's the fantasy playoffs, man. We're not leaving none of that on the bench. None of that.
We have to. You
Garrett
got to
Wilson,
put it all out there.
Garrett Wilson, I told y'all, Garrett Wilson, get him in line. Him and Breece Hall this week. I love him. I know that. I know they tricked off last week.
They did.
I know it. It happens, man. It's fantasy football. You got to look at matchups. Look at the matchup. Washington ranked 31st against the receiver. Listen, Wilson is going to make, just like he's going to get that rock. Just like they make sure Devontae Adams get that rock. Just like they targeting your boy Justin Jefferson. That's the same thing Garrett Wilson is to that team. And Breece Hall is going to be a PP monster. Breece Hall, my forecast, 8 receptions this week. Watch.
That's a good pickup. Not necessarily a good pickup, but that's a good play.
I know it is, man. I know it. I got a feeling it's going to be a decent scoring game. Everybody in the 20s.
So what about Puka? Somebody said Puka's been tearing it up in fantasy football all year. You got to keep him in your phone?
You got to continue to start Puka and Cup, both of them. You got to. You can't bench Puka. Now, it depends on what other receivers you have, but to me, he's a wide receiver 2 right now.
Right.
He's going to get you 15 points. He's going to get you 6 catches for 89 yards. You know what I'm saying? That's a Puka. And he might get you a tud. But Cooper Kupp, that's who you want to have right now. He's hot.
Gotcha.
He's hot. He got hot.
Now, here's a good question.
I was down on him. I was down on him when he came back and he was tricking off. I was down on him, but you know what? I continue to believe in him. And now it's paying off. It's paying off, B.
I hear you. My man says Adams or Smith at wide receiver 1. I don't know that
Devontae Smith?
Yeah. I don't know.
Adams.
If that's a good
you got to go Adams. It's still Devontae,
Adams,
man. He's going to get you 12 targets. Devontae.
Right.
Hopefully. You never know. That's a kind of good question, man. That's kind of good question, man, because I see Philly having a bounce back game. I see Hurts going to the air.
They have to because they can't run it.
They got to, right? They got to. That's interesting, man. If they double, Devontae Smith could have a big game. Ooh, man. Yeah,
here's the question, man. We never talk about defense. As somebody brought up James Richardson, Texans defense or the Ravens defense this week?
This week, why would you even do that? Why would you even go against Purdy? Number one, the Ravens defense shouldn't be up on. Ravens defense is but not this week.
Not this week.
Okay. Number 2, those Texans defense, I like it. This week, I like New York Jets defense versus Washington. I like that. I see a lot of turnovers in that game. Sam Howell just ain't got to go out. I see some fumbles and I see some picks. Now, what I was trying to tell people, pick up Jacksonville defense if you plan on playing in the championship next week. Have them sitting on there. They're playing against Carolina, who's ranked. Carolina's like 31st against any defense, meaning they giving up the most turnovers. They just can't make it happen, man. They got Chuba Hubbard. Adam Thielen is a shell of himself. They have absolutely nothing going on in Carolina. They're going to make turnovers, and they're not going to get many yards. So my point is, get Jacksonville defense and go stash them.
I got you. One question: what about the Chiefs defense this week against the Raiders?
I like it. I got them starting. Hey, B, I got them starting in 2 leagues. Whoever answered that question, I got them going this week.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs defense against the Raiders, especially at home. This game is going to be at home. So, and the Chiefs need to keep winning too.
I got a couple Chiefs. I got a lot of Jets this week. I got Jacksonville in like 10 out of 11 of my leagues. I got them just sitting on the bench right now, just waiting for next week.
Last question.
Look. Jacksonville is 8-6 right now. Jacksonville, they're number 1 in the AFC South, but they need to really, really start picking.
They got to win.
If they want to make the playoffs, right?
There's a 3-way tie for first. They got to win.
Right.
So
that defense about to ball.
Last question before I get you out of here, man.
Say,
I got Kyron Williams or Jahmyr Gibbs.
I mean, can you not start both of them? Who else you got?
I don't know. That was my first thought. That was my first thought. My man Chuck Miller asked on TikTok. That was my first thought. Is like, if you're picking between those two,
Kyron Williams,
who
you got
else
to go
do
with
you
him
have?
first because he gets more touches. Okay.
Gotcha.
David Montgomery actually had more touches than Jahmyr Gibbs did last game, even though Jahmyr Gibbs' output is astronomical right now.
Oh,
But
his other running back is CMC.
well, start them all and put them in the flex. Put
I would
Gibbs in the
say put
flex.
somebody in the flex.
Put Gibbs in the flex. I
Yeah,
don't care if
that's
it
what
is a
I would do.
PPR.
Put Gibbs
You
in the
winning.
flex.
You winning. PPR or not, you winning.
Yeah. That would be my first thought. Start all three of them and put them in the flex because unless you got a bad league where you got some crazy receivers too, and if that's the case, then it is what it is. But you got those three running backs, you got to figure out a way to get all of them in your lineup.
Yes,
got to
sir.
figure it out.
Hey, Big B, man, I hate to cut it short today. I got 11 little soccer girls over at the park right now. I got to be over there in 20 minutes, man. I'm in
no problem, man.
I'm going to have to get in traffic. I got to do a little hour training, man. So if anybody has any questions, just go on Hot Soup Fantasy Football. Check me out on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Go on there. Hit me with it. Inbox me with your questions, man. I'll answer them all. I'll get to it tonight, man, or tomorrow. I'm flying out to Illinois, go see my mama, man. Me and all the kids, we riding out.
All right, man. We appreciate you joining the show, man. Y'all have a good one. And if we don't talk to you next week, which we probably won't, but we will definitely see you the week after, my man, for Championship Sunday. Fantasy Football Championship Sunday. So have a good Christmas, man.
You too. Merry Christmas, man. Happy holidays. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. That is our guy, our fantasy football guru, Hot Soup Fantasy Football, man. If you're not following him on TikTok, please go give that man a follow. And if you're not subscribed to him on YouTube, go subscribe to him, man. You can even go through my page. Go through my page, Big B Sports Talk, on either one, and go to YouTube and go subscribe, and you will find all of Hot Soup stuff in there, man. The guy is a guru when it comes to fantasy football. Just a guru. So I appreciate y'all saving your questions for him. He loves it, man. 23 leagues every year. The guy's crazy. So, but let's get down to it. Let's talk a little football. Let's talk a little NFL. So earlier, we had some people, we were talking MVP, how it could play out. I mean, to me, it's a 4-person race now. I think Dak has fallen off. So I think it's between Purdy, CMC, Tyreek Hill, and Lamar. The only way that Lamar is even in the conversation is Lamar has to beat the 49ers on Christmas, and he has to play well. That's the only way. If they don't win and he don't play well, he's out. Period, point blank. Purdy going against that defense could make a statement. He's still not the MVP for me on his own team because I still think it's CMC. And if CMC goes and wrecks shop against the Ravens, we'll see if this is really a quarterback award or not. We'll see. We'll be able to figure it out. We will definitely be able to figure it out. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it is, I don't know. They always give it to a quarterback. I'd love to see Tyreek win it. Tyreek got to get to 2,000 yards, though. If he doesn't get to 2,000 yards, he's not winning. Period. End of story. Got to get to 2,000. And Purdy isn't just a check down merchant, man. I don't know who came up with that narrative, but he's got second leading. Now, he leads the league in yards per attempt. That doesn't mean guys are catching the ball and running down the field. That means how far he's throwing the ball per attempt. He leads the league. I mean, what are we doing here? So the ball is traveling out of his hands further than anybody else in the league per pass. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Not to mention, he's second in the league in passing yards, but he's last in attempts. Now, some of that is his receivers are running wild, So you got to give them credit for that, because that does happen. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Who is this over here? My man, Mike Yates. Sanchez, isn't he number one in yards per attempt while having one of the worst yards after catch? Sanchez? Not sure who the quarterback Sanchez would be, Mike. Purdy is number one in 20-plus yard completion percentage. He's throwing the ball down the field, man. He's throwing the ball down the field. And y'all know me. I'm not even a Purdy guy. But I got to give him credit. I mean, hell, you got to give him some credit. Otherwise, you're not being honest. If you're not going to give the guy credit. So, but that is what it is. That is what it is. I think it's down to them. Now, can some other guys possibly get into the race? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But who knows? Who knows? But some other guys can get into the race. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. Josh Allen has an outside chance of getting into the race if they keep playing well. Tua, I think, is right there. So Purdy is a product of having multiple future Hall of Famers on his team. Yeah, but he's also making the plays when they're out there. You can't fault Purdy for playing with good players. You just can't do that. And yeah, you're right. We did see how bad he was when a few guys were out. And I've said it all along, Purdy's not any good when he's got game pressure, when they're down a touchdown in the third quarter, when they're down 10 points in the third quarter. What can he do? But it's also not his fault that his team has put him in a position where that doesn't happen. That ain't Purdy's fault. So that's just not his fault. That his team is so good that they don't put him in position where they're down like that. So I don't know. It kills me when people always say, well, he played with Hall of Fame players. Well, so did Larry Bird. Are we saying Larry Bird ain't as good because he played with Hall of Fame players? So did Magic. Are we saying Magic wasn't as good because he played with Hall of Fame players? No. No, we're not. We're not going to say that. We're not going to do that. So that's my point. You can't knock the guy for that. You can knock him for other stuff, but not for playing with good players. He's making the plays. He's making the plays. Garoppolo was out there. He didn't make the plays. So, I'll take Stafford every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And you'll take Kyler over Purdy. And maybe you will. But what I see right now is the quarterback making plays, playing outstanding football on the best team in the NFL. That's what Brock Purdy is doing. We can talk about everything that he isn't, but at this particular time, this is what they're doing. So I'll take Purdy at his salary over any QB and their salary in the NFL. Well, of course, because Purdy's making, what, $900,000 a year? That's why they're able to pay all those other players. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll see. We'll see. I can't wait for that game. I can't wait for that game. I'd like to see the Ravens win. I'd like to see the Ravens win. I don't know if they can, but I would like to see the Ravens go to San Francisco and win the game. Not, like I said, I'm not sure they can, but I would love to see it happen. Mike Yates said taking Kyler Murray over Purdy is insanity. Yeah, it's insanity. I'm not taking Kyler over Purdy. better yet, if they had the same salary right now, there is a 0 chance that San Francisco would say, hey, let's trade for Kyler Murray and get rid of Purdy. That it wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen. So that wouldn't happen. My man Hooligan says, Brock Purdy reminds me of early Roethlisberger. Great team around him that makes development easier. Brock could continue to evolve to make me. Well, here's the only thing I would say about that. Roethlisberger did have a great team around him, but Roethlisberger didn't throw the ball 35 times a game. Roethlisberger might have gotten you to 20 passes a game. There was a lot of times where Pittsburgh only threw the ball 17 times, 15 times. There's a huge difference between what's going on with Big Ben and Purdy. Both had great teams. Both had outstanding defenses that could run the ball. The Steelers ran it a hell of a lot more than what San Francisco does. You know, Roethlisberger, like I said, there weren't that many games where he was getting you to 20 passes a game early in his career. That just didn't happen. That just didn't happen. So, just didn't happen. Purdy is signed through 2025. Yeah, he's got another 2 years. So, I would suspect, though, depending on what happens this year, 49ers may do a little something. It won't be a lot. They might do a little something for him. So, and who knows? Purdy might be a guy, hey, I don't have to break the bank. I don't have to break the bank. Who knows what's going to happen, man? Who knows what's going to happen? Steve Ritchie's got a good point. Bottom line, it's working in San Fran, so why change it? In a couple years, when Purdy's contract is up, it's a different story. But right now, I'm going down with the ship at Purdy at quarterback. Absolutely. Absolutely. Think about how San Francisco, how good they have been. Hell, they gave up 3 first-round picks to take Trey Lance, who started what? 3 games? 2 games? And they haven't missed a beat. Have not missed a beat. So I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. We're going to shut this one down for today, people. We're going to shut it down for today. I appreciate everybody in here, man. Thank you, guys. So, again, Monday through Friday, Big B Sports Talk, Big B Daily Show. Come and check us out. We're live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube, man. I appreciate all of you guys that come in every day and support us. We love it. I'm starting to get settled on what we're going to call you guys. We'll talk about a little bit more about that tomorrow. But I appreciate all of you guys, man. Again, TikTok, you did your thing once again today. If you're not following and you happen to be in here on TikTok, please give us a follow and then click that YouTube link in my bio and come on over to YouTube like a lot of guys have. Subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. The chat is better over on YouTube. You get access to a lot more stuff. Come on over. Either way, we appreciate you guys. Thank you. And we will catch you tomorrow, man. Aloha.